Welcome to Beyond Birth Trauma, From Burden to Brilliance, where we uncover the powerful truth about your beginnings and how they've shaped your entire life. I'm Shannon O'Flaherty, and in this show, we're not just exploring your birth, we are dismantling the chains of generational trauma. We're diving into the core of who you are, peeling back layers of inherited beliefs and behaviors that have held you back for far too long. This isn't just about understanding your past. It is about reclaiming your future. Get ready to break free. This is Beyond Birth Trauma, From Burden to Brilliance, and your transformation starts now. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Shannon O'Flaherty. Welcome to Beyond Birth Trauma, From Burden to Brilliance. And this episode explores why capable, driven women often find themselves financially stuck despite doing everything right, and what actually creates sustainable change. And we also look at how early life experience, including birth trauma and developmental wounding, gets wired into the body long before we have words for it, and how that shapes our entire relationship with money, visibility, and worth. And in this conversation today with my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Helen Orombi, she's going to share a systems-based approach to understanding money and income growth. Rather than focusing on strategy or mindset alone, she introduces the concept of the internal protection system, the internal network of identity, nervous system conditioning, and protective parts that shape how much money, success, and visibility feel safe. Dr. Helen Orombi is a women's nervous system-based transformational money coach and a former psychotherapist with over 14 years of experience. She helps brilliant, self-aware women who are doing everything right, but still not making the money they're capable of, uncover and shift the deeper patterns that are shaping their financial reality. Her work integrates nervous system regulation, identity transformation, and internal family systems, which is parts work, to help women move from stress, self-doubt, and under-earning into clarity, confidence, and aligned wealth creation. Through her signature EASE framework, she guides women to feel safe with money, transform their internal story, build real capacity, and grow into a new relationship with wealth that reflects who they truly are. When not working on her business, Helen loves to crochet, notice the poncho, watching Asian dramas. She likes to read, hike, and have deep and meaningful conversations, many of which I've had with her.
Yeah.
So, welcome, Helen. It's so nice to have you on again. I think this is the third time you're showing up on my show. Just can't get enough of you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me back and happy birthday.
Ah, yes, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yesterday was my
birthday.
birthday. Woo! Keep on going, just getting younger every year.
It
So
is true. You do look younger.
I feel younger too.
Good.
It's all up here, you know?
All in the mind.
So most of us have been told the gap between what we're capable of and what we're earning is a strategy problem. Work harder, learn more, find the right system. But today, Helen is going to take us somewhere much more interesting than that, because what she's discovered and what I see reflected in so much of the healing work that I do is that this isn't a strategy problem at all. It's a nervous system problem, and it starts much earlier than most people realize. So, Helen, you work with women who are genuinely capable, intelligent, experienced, yet their income keeps not catching up with
Yeah.
who they actually are. So, why do you think so many women feel stuck financially, even when they're doing everything right?
Well, so that woman is me of a couple weeks ago, maybe even a year ago, right? So
Me
like
too.
you and I, we're brilliant women, right? And we work really, really hard. And so on the surface, it doesn't make sense as to why the amount of money we are making doesn't reflect how brilliant we are, right?
Mhm.
And that was very confusing for myself. And still, I started doing the deeper exploration to find out, because when I first started, I was like, okay, so let me take this course, let me do this, let me do this. I met you in one of the courses that I took. But first of all, I wasn't implementing any of those courses, right? And even if I was implementing, I didn't go all in because there was a part of me that did not believe that it was safe to grow my income. It
I
wasn't
mean,
safe.
I really resonate with that. I can't tell you the number of courses I've done, not just about financial abundance, but marketing, every other thing, every other way that would help my business grow, one thing after the next. And same with you. I went all in to the level that I could, but there's all in and there's all in,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
even all the way in, if you have internal blocks, if your energy isn't flowing correctly, however you want to say it, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think what I discovered was, so is it okay if I talk about?
Yeah, yeah, you go. You go.
Okay.
I'll interject.
Let me go all in. So, what I discovered, especially through my own experience and also in my experience in working with other women, is there are usually three layers that's really going on, and I call it the internal protection system. And so that includes your nervous system. So, your nervous system is always scanning. Is it okay for me to be visible or not? Is it okay for me to set big goals or not? Is it okay for me to invest in this or not? And so based on the interpretation your nervous system is giving you, that's going to limit your income, right? So there's that nervous system level. And then there's the identity. So your identity is how do you make sense of your experience, right? So for instance, in my case, brilliant, right? Intelligent, but I'm not making enough money. Why? Well, my brain told me it's because I'm not good enough. And so if I'm not good enough, what do? I buy more courses. I
And
work
so,
harder.
do you think that it's not always not good enough is not always the root thing for each person? This is a relative thing depending on all of your stuff, your background, your wounding, your birth, your everything.
Absolutely. So I'm not good enough is just one of them. For
Mhm.
somebody else, there's a client that I worked with, hers was, I am a have not, right? And so even though her financial situation had changed, because she carried the identity of, I am a have not, she couldn't spend on herself.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, I've seen a lot of in my work, it's the oaths, right? That I
Yeah,
had a lot of millionaire, billionaire clients even who were really super tight and they
yeah,
just kept their money hidden in a vault somewhere. They wouldn't have it out circulating in the world or solving any problems or helping other people.
yeah.
It's still a real lack mentality. And I have friends now who have a lot of money, but they still have this lack mentality that they can't enjoy the money that they have, or whatever they still buy with it still isn't enough somehow. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like when you think about lottery winners, right? Lottery winners will make a whole lot of money, but their sense of who they are in relationship to money hasn't changed. And so even though they have millions, they will some of them will overspend it, right? They will just overspend it recklessly because their sense of who they are is still, I'm this poor person. So your identity plays such a crucial role in how much money you allow yourself to receive and make.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really interesting because a lot of famous people who became superstars overnight, same thing.
yeah,
Suddenly they were earning millions and millions, and next thing you know, they're bankrupt because they had no idea, A, about how to manage money. That's a skill set in itself,
yeah.
but it's more about identity. Yeah,
Yes,
really.
identity and nervous system. So, for
Mhm.
instance, if you are given a whole lot of money, right? So, if you have, say, a whole lot of money, your nervous system might say, it's not safe for me to have a whole lot of money. So, let me give it away. Let me spend it. Let me self-sabotage. So, it's your identity, your nervous system, and then there are parts inside of you that keep everything in place.
So elucidate on that. The parts inside of you that keep everything in place.
All right. So, this is like So one of my loves is internal family systems, right? It's a therapeutic model that says that we are not just one mind. We have different parts of us, right?
Hmm.
And so when we bring this idea of parts into our money, we have parts that spend a lot, right? So I don't know if you ever have that experience where you're having a bad day. Let me do some retail therapy.
Oh, I
That's
love that. I'm really good at it.
right, right. Say more about yours, and then maybe I can analyze you.
Yeah, when I'm feeling a little bit low, yeah, I go online shopping because, one can always have another little dress for dancing, right? Not that I need any of anything. I don't need anything. I have everything I could possibly ever need in the world. I
Yeah,
am good though. I do take the old clothes to charity, so I am circulating things. That's my justification for it.
that's
I
your
need room in the
justification.
closet, so.
Right. So you have a part that justifies it, right? So there's a part that emotionally spends, and emotional spending for the most part is um you're processing your emotion through buying something. And then you
Mhm.
have a part that, okay, now that I've bought all this stuff, let me give it away to Goodwill,
Yeah.
right? To justify my spending. I
Hmm.
have a part that is a scarcity part. Now, this scarcity part is a pot that's always scanning. Do I have enough money or not? Do I have enough money or not? It doesn't matter how much money I have. She comes online, right? Just scanning. And there's a way she limits me because a lot of my activities are fear-based, right? So most of your pots are fear-based. And so when you're trying to take action, so if you have a pot that is a hard worker, like work really, really hard, that part of you is going to make you really work hard, but it's also going to lead to burnout. And it's driven by fear.
Yeah, that really makes a lot of sense. And it was also interesting how you look at these different parts. So the part that needs the emotional extra little dress in my case, and then, oh, I better justify that, so I'm going to give it away to charity. But I'm also thinking about my kids and other people I know where they'll, because they're foodies, I'm not a foodie, right? As long as I get healthy food and good food, great, but I'm not a foodie.
Yeah.
So I don't place weight on food, but they'll go out and spend a fair whack of money on dinner. To me, that's why would you do that? Because it's gone, right? Like that's something that you can't enjoy besides the moment that you're there because food isn't important to me. So it's about you're looking at what's important to you, where you're going to put your spending. And
Right.
also talking about the scarcity bit, I thought about that too in terms of there's different layers of this, whereas some people won't be spending at all. Some people will spend to a certain limit. Other people will go completely over the top, right? And other people just don't go there.
Hoard. They
Yeah.
hoard. So
Or
if you're a hoarder, that's a part of you that it assumes you're not going to have enough money. And so let me just hoard stuff.
That's really interesting. I
Yeah.
never really thought about hoarder. I'm not a hoarder. I have a lot of stuff, but I'm not a hoarder. Like everything circulates. Because once, I think it was Vianna Steibel who teaches Theta Healing, said that it's important to spend money on yourself on a regular basis, even if it's just buying yourself a stick of gum every day, because it's telling yourself that you have enough, and
Yeah.
it's keeping the energy of money circulating. And I thought, okay, I like that. So it did help me in terms of not allowing myself things and feeling like I'm without. It helped me enjoy spending some money, but not huge amounts, right?
Right,
Like
because it's still not
years of
right,
healing
because
this.
it's still not safe, right? Because that's a great strategy. Let me spend a little bit on myself, right? It's a strategy so that I'm telling myself that there's more, the universe is going to provide or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
that only takes you so far if your nervous system still doesn't believe this particular strategy that you are employing. Because, like you said, I just spend a little bit. Well, because a part of you knows, yeah, I don't have money.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not safe.
Right. Okay. That's really interesting. That's very interesting. So that nervous system. is all about your relationship with yourself and the relationship with what you're spending or putting out in the world.
Right. So the
And
nervous system is really
receiving.
about, am I safe?
Right. Okay.
Am I safe to
Everybody.
earn? Am I safe to save? Am I safe to invest? Am I safe to share my money?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And a
Wow.
lot of that, go ahead.
No, yeah, it's just saying wow. Wow.
Right. And this is where it ties into your work, right? A lot of our nervous system programming, a lot of our identity comes from our family of origin, comes from
Yeah.
the culture that we grew up in, right?
A- Absolutely. I mean, my mother was born in the Depression in the States, right? And really poor growing up and in scarcity and lack mode and also have not mode, all of that, like all of the modes,
Yeah.
right? So even though she had money all the time, not copious amounts, but she had more than enough money, she was always crying poor, like till the day she died, crying poor. But she always had money to do anything she ever wanted, and that's not poor, right? If you always have $2,000 in your account, that's not being poor. That's having sustainable money. That's beyond paying the bills, right?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
$2,000 cushion is not being poor, but you would have thought that she had maybe a fiver in her pocket
Yeah. Yeah. And
because
so,
of where she came from.
right. So if she, no, she wasn't born in the Depression era, was she? Or she was?
Yeah, like 1933. It was the end of the Depression. Yeah.
Right. So even though you're born in in the Depression area and you're living in the current climate, which right now is unstable, so maybe because of the unstable climate that we're in, it's going to trigger the same feelings that you had when you were born or around the time that you grew up, right? Because here's the thing about the nervous system, right? Every experience that you have, it stays in your body, it gets lodged in. And so if you just have one experience that mimics what you had growing up, your nervous system's going to think, I'm in danger.
Yeah, and so many kids listen to their parents or their fathers bitching about the bills or how money is evil. All of those thoughts get implanted in you. So, and that gets in your nervous system. I understand that because things sink into our cells. That's the work that I do.
Yeah.
But how is what you're talking about different from the standard money mindset? The
Most
work.
money
Yeah.
Right. Most money mindset work cognitively. So like it's all in your mind, but it isn't, right? So shift your mindset, shift how you're thinking about something, and then you're
Mhm.
going to shift your money relationship. No, your body is remembering. So you can say your affirmation, you can do your mindset work, but if your body still has that memory of that one time when you did that thing and because of that thing you lost this amount of money, right? You're no, like your mindset is not going to work, right? Because even your mindset, it's based on your nervous system, it's based on your beliefs, it's based on your identity, it's based on that. But most people just say, just shift your mindset, just shift your mindset. It's not enough. That's just cognitive.
Well, if we could all just shift our mindsets about everything, we would all be in a different place, right? None of us would have any interesting problems to overcome. We'd just be, well, let me just think about that differently. And it does help to reframe things because you
Yeah.
can have a big aha moment, which can affect your nervous system. Like things like that do when the penny drops, sometimes that can really put everything into alignment. But we're
Yes.
very layered, complex beings.
Right.
So you describe these core identity patterns like
Yeah.
I'm not enough, I'm invisible, I'm
I'm
alone.
alone.
Uh,
Yes.
they go on and on. I mean, in Claire's program,
Yeah.
Dr. Claire's Hammett, there was 21 major patterns to overcome, wasn't there? And they're
Right.
not just beliefs, they're embodied. So how did they really show up in real life in your career or in your business? How you want to go through? some
Yeah.
of those?
So let me go through that real quick. So if you have the I am not enough money pattern, right? Or core belief, the way it's going to show up in your business or in your life is under earning, over
Mm-hmm.
giving. That's one of my classic ones, right? If a client pays me this amount of money, and if a part of me believes that I'm not good enough, I'm going to over deliver so that I can compensate for how much money the client gave me. Difficulty asking for, go ahead.
That's me in a nutshell too. I mean, really over delivering, and that sets off a whole spiral event of other things too, because that leads to burnout because you're
Yeah,
never doing enough. So you're constantly doing more, and you're giving more time, and you do your work for free. Yes, because you care so much about other people, because the compassion thing, your solar plexus is wide open. You're not you're not in alignment with all of that. And yeah, I can easily still fall into that when I see somebody who needs help. I'm not going to let them suffer if they can't afford to pay me. Just
right. Or you discount. You discount your prices. I can't tell you how many people, when I hear these stories, there's a part of me that's like, oh, they need my help, but they probably won't be able to afford me. So let me just discount my price.
yeah.
And I've discounted my prices a lot.
Hmm.
So the other one is I'm invisible. So the way I am invisible shows up in your money is you're not promoting yourself. So those of us who are in our business, we know marketing and sales is such an important part of being able to bring in money, right? So if I have the I'm invisible core pattern, visibility equals danger. So I'm not
Hmm.
going to put myself out there. And if I don't put myself out there, how am I going to get clients?
Oh my God. When I first took my business online, about eight years ago, and she said, okay, so every week you're going to do a Facebook Live, and everybody just went pale white, like, what? Oh my God, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. I think a lot of people dropped out of the program right then and there. And I started doing them, but I was really nervous and kind of not. And then my kids, after a few years of doing that, they're like, "Why do you sound so weird when you do a live?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm just me." And they're like, "No, you're not. You put on a strange voice. You don't even look like you. You don't sound like you." I'm just like, "What?" And here I am now with a TV podcast show. Got over that one. But yes, and even a lot of healer friends and therapist friends that I've said, "Oh, you'd be a great guest on my show." They're like, "Oh my God, no, I couldn't possibly be seen." And I think, what's that about? Like, there's so many people who have magical, amazing gifts to share with the world. And sharing your story with the world is so important because it makes everybody else feel less alone out there in all of this. Like, wow.
Yeah. So, like, I love the example that you gave. So the I am invisible story for me, I grew up as a pastor's kid, which meant I had too much visibility. I wouldn't sneeze before the whole village knew I had pneumonia, even if I don't have pneumonia, right? So I had too much visibility and I didn't have enough privacy. And so when I had a similar situation, my coach was like, okay, we're going to do, I think it was like a 30-day challenge where you're supposed to show up visibly on Facebook or whatever social media platform you're using. And my nervous system just freaked out. And
Mhm.
to her, to that younger part of me, it was like, I'm not going to have privacy. People are going to judge me. It's like, it's just not safe.
Yeah, I do remember really feeling that way. And I mean, there's been years and years of healing and getting over this. And it is heal in layers, and layers come off and something else happens. And it's not just doing the work about one program. Obviously, when
Yeah.
you put yourself out there, it ups your game quite radically, quite quickly, because suddenly you are visible. But I even remember um, so during COVID, during the second pandemic,
Yeah.
I had COVID really badly, and I didn't want my audience to know. I didn't want anybody to know that I had COVID. I still had this belief that I shouldn't be sick or something like that. So I wasn't vulnerable enough, even though I was being seen and being visible to a certain extent. I still wasn't past that. Oh my God, in order to really show up and be seen, I need to be fully vulnerable. And yeah, like this is me, warts and all, right? Like I'm not perfect, I'm just another person. So I was there for a level, but it was a while after I recovered from COVID that I came out about having had it. Yeah,
Mhm.
very interesting.
Yeah,
Very.
and you can also see how the nervous system component comes in, right? If you have a coding in your, if there's an imprint, to use your language, if there's
Mhm.
an imprint in your system that says if I step out, then and the nervous system, it's very interesting. It's either I'm in danger or I'm safe, or I'm gonna die or I'm safe, right? That's its language.
Mhm.
So something as benign as showing up live or even sharing your story
Yeah,
vulnerably, that
yeah.
gets coded as, what was yours coded as? Was it like people are gonna reject
The
me?
the 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 COVID thing.
Right. Like what was
And
getting in the way
yeah,
of,
I felt like because I'm a healer, I shouldn't be sick or so it was something like that that I just yeah, and I think also because I had chosen not to be vaccinated, I didn't want to get into that big war of
Ooh.
people's opinions and being judged by that because I felt that I was being judged by the whole world and my family at the time. And I was afraid of all of that. But I had made a vow to myself that I was going to stick to my intuition and stay out of the fight, which I did. And I was extremely proud of that myself that year. But it wasn't just about that. It was more that I didn't want people to know that I could be that sick. I don't know. It was really strange.
So,
Like
so you probably had a perfectionist part of you who came online. If I'm a healer, healers don't
oh,
get sick.
perfection. Yes, perfection. Oh gosh, you hit the nail on the head. So when this platform invited me to have this show, great. And I had shingles at the time and was spiraling into my second dark night of the soul. And I wrote to them and I said, yeah, I can't do this. I have shingles. I need a few more months. And then they came back to me. I said, yes, I'm okay, but I need a few more months. And I was concerned that I might lose this opportunity. I didn't. But I thought, no, I can't. I need to be in alignment and feeling better when I come onto this thing. It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
yeah.
A lot of that has shifted, that's for sure.
Well,
Right on.
I remember. Well, I was with you like the first time you like did your solo show,
You were
right?
my first guest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so brilliantly and imperfectly, right?
Yeah.
But again, we live in a society where for a lot of us women, it's not safe to be imperfect.
Isn't that sad? That's really sad.
It
It,
really is.
I mean, who wants to be perfect anyway? We're so perfect in our imperfections.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
continue on because this is really interesting. So what
Okay.
about
So
I'm alone?
the
Yeah.
next one is I am alone.
Mm,
So women who have the I am alone pattern, the way it shows up in your money, because you're alone, you don't trust support. You don't allow yourself to receive the help that could maybe support you, say, if you have a business to help you grow your business. Because as you know, as somebody who owns our own business, we wear so many hats, right? And so if you have the I am alone pattern, then you're not going to let people support you. So what's going to happen is you're going to overfunction, right? You're going to overfunction. You're not going to ask for help. You're not going to seek collaboration because for you, I have to do it all by myself.
mm-hmm. Boy. Is this all about me? This show is just like birthday show. You're just going to point out all of the stuff that I've been overcoming for years.
Well, but Shannon, like you and I, we are the brilliant, intelligent women I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
it's
So
true.
it's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I've been through all of this, everything that you are talking about. And this is why we met on the course that we met in. And I'm so blessed that we were put into our same practice group. So grateful.
Yeah,
But yeah, what I've been unpeeling all of these layers, trying to figure it all out. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, and so for me, like again, the quick way, because again, these patterns live in your nervous system. And so the quickest way to unpeel the onion is to tap, regulate your
Yeah.
nervous system. So,
Yeah. Tapping is even one of the, I'm studying the MAPS integrative psychology course at the moment, and
mhm.
tapping is one of the extra resources that's integrated into that program. I didn't know if I had told you that or not, but and if you, the process is you ask if more help is needed, and there's different help things that you can do, and tapping is one of them, and that often comes up. So I think that's interesting. So I've been tapping a lot lately.
Also, do you want more or are you
Yeah, yeah,
good?
keep going. This is great.
All right. So I mentioned this before. It's I don't have. So
Hmm.
the person who has the I don't have pattern has this imprint of deprivation, right? Deprivation, instability, and fear of loss. So is it okay if I share a personal story?
Yes, we love personal stories on here because it lets everybody know that you're safe to tell your personal story. And when you do, other people listening are going to be going, "Oh my God, that's me. That's me." You go.
So earlier this year, because you know when you're in business, there are times when um you make more money, other times you don't. So earlier this year, I had an income dip more than I had planned for. So I don't know if any of you have ever had experiences where you have that unexpected expenses or unexpected income loss. So I had one of those things of unexpected income loss, right? And I had enough savings, but my system freaked out. And the way it freaked out was, okay, I don't have those particular clients anymore. That means I'm going to die, right?
Right.
That's how the nervous system interpreted it. Instead of, you know what? This is a moment where I don't have income. I don't have enough clients. It's not permanent. But for that part of me, that younger part of me, it was like, that's it. I'm going to be sleeping on the streets under some bridge
Wow.
because this means I'm not going to ever have.
I mean, that's not going on, just so you all understand. If you're listening to this, this is not going on consciously. This is
No.
a trigger. It's a deep cellular nervous system trigger. And as I recall, the I don't have one was because we all have all of these beliefs to one level or another, but there will
And
be one or two that really, really grip you. And that I don't have belief was one of my main core beliefs. And
oh,
oh, yeah.
I didn't know
And
that.
well, I, we're all pretty certain that I lost a twin sister in utero. And I've always had this thing about loss in my life, loss, loss, loss. And I haven't had enough tragedy in my life, or really any, to warrant this kind of feeling of loss. I can't say goodbye. I can't let things go. And it manifested as what I don't have, what's been taken away from me. So I think it was even you on a friend call one day where you pointed out about that I had always had a villain in my life. Like alcohol was the villain that took my mother away from me, right? And there were other villains in my life. So it manifested, but that was all under the I don't have umbrella. So also whatever the pattern is can manifest or land differently in different people depending on what your experience and all of the upbringing is around that. Yeah, really
Right.
powerful.
And also like the resources you had available to you,
Of
right?
course.
Because if you had a childhood where you didn't particularly feel supported, you didn't have people explaining things for you, then these particular core beliefs are going to land differently because you weren't resourced at that point. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter that now as an adult, you're resourced, you have access to so many things. That younger version of you still believes, I'm not resourced.
It's really interesting because with a lot of my clients, and I talk about the parents and the childhood, and people just don't want to make their parents bad in any way whatsoever. No, my parents were great. I had a wonderful childhood, but they won't go deeper than that to look at, well, how were you not held as a child? Not, and I don't mean actually held, but I mean, or it could have been, but how were you not seen, supported, held, heard, whatever it was, even the perfect parents, it doesn't always land in the right way for the individual child, depending what the child needs. So it's quite fascinating how all of this manifests. It's
Well,
important to understand this in yourself too, if you're
yeah.
listening to this show now, that we all have these embedded in our cellular system, in our nervous system. And it's really important. It doesn't make your parents bad at all. It's not their fault. It's just they're doing the best they could with the information they had at the time. And the way something lands for you might not be at all how it landed for your twin sister. It might be completely different because we're all different people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that you brought up this, it's like it's a loyalty vow, right?
Right.
I don't want to be disloyal to my parent, and so I'm not gonna look at this. So two examples, and I'll share about loyalty vows in money. So in my case, again, based on our childhood, based on different experiences, I had a loss when I was 10, and that impacted me and my mom very differently. Mom lost her daughter, and we were living in England at that time. And so the grief rituals in England was very different from the grief rituals in Uganda. In Uganda, you have way more support. And so
Mhm.
because of that unprocessed grief and trauma, it really fundamentally changed my mom. And so the way she related to me was it was very conflicted, right? But I had this loyalty to her. To look at how her behavior hurt me would be disloyal to my mom. And so for a very long time, I didn't allow myself to heal from what Kelly McDaniel calls mother hunger. I didn't let myself heal from mother hunger because that would have meant that I'm making my mom a bad person. But no, she had her own traumas. She had her own stuff that affected how she mothered me.
Wow. This is how we end up holding the mantle for our parents and other close family people, so that often when somebody dies, we stop being a lawyer because we never wanted to be a lawyer in the first place, and we go off to become the graphic
Body.
designer that we always wanted to be, because mommy or daddy wanted us to be the lawyer, so we had to please them. Really, really fascinating. Yeah, I went through a massive, I didn't even know about that till my mother died, and went through a massive, like, what is going on, because all
Mhm.
this stuff came out of me that wasn't mine.
Yeah,
I was holding that mantle.
yeah.
Wow.
And so then the other thing I mentioned is loyalty in money. So how does loyalty in money look like? Well, loyalty in money looks like I can't make more than my parent.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I had a client for the longest time. She would only allow herself to make $40,000 a year because that's what her parent made, right? And the
Yeah, you
way the
can't
Lloyd, go ahead.
succeed past your parents' success. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Wow. That's actually a really common belief also in the work that I do.
yeah.
Um, so
So
what about I'm not important? Because that's another
yes,
really
yes.
good one.
Yeah, so I am not important. The emotional cope, like the imprint for that is feeling insignificant and feeling dismissed. And the way that shows up in your money is you're going to prioritize other people's needs over yours. So for instance, you have a client who is, and we'll have, sometimes we have some of those clients that just want more from you than you're willing to give, right? And so if I'm not important, you're not going to set very good boundaries to tell this client that no, you can't access me after my work hours. Well, that's the I am not important core belief operationalizing. So you're going to have problems negotiating your salary, right? If I'm not important, why would I ask for a raise? You're going to undercharge or accept people who don't value you because I'm not important.
So what's the thing that women would say most often when they start to recognize this in themselves, or what would be something that people could realize to help them wake up to themselves that, oh, actually, I've got some limitations here, because some people don't realize this at all. So do you know what I'm asking you?
Well, yeah, no, I do. So when I start working with women and we begin to map out their internal protection system, the first thing that lights up in them is, oh, I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because to the extent that you think there's something wrong with you, to the extent that you're not going to maybe apply your strategy. So for instance, that I am not good enough. I thought there was something wrong with me. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why I wasn't implementing my strategies is because there's something wrong with me. But when I realize there's nothing really wrong with me, I just have an internal protection system that's limiting me, then I'm like, oh, okay. So there's
So,
some relief.
so can you walk us through your process? You talked
Yes.
about is your course called Ease?
No, the
Framework is called Ease.
framework that I take people on is called EASE.
Excuse me.
So E stands for embodying calm. And what we do in your money around ease is it's really rewiring your nervous system to feel safe again with money. So we will look at your earliest money paradigms, what you downloaded as a child. We will look at any financial trauma that you might have, and we rewire all of that. So rewiring is really kind of just releasing the trauma from your body so that you become calm around money. Because I can't tell you how many people just opening up their bank account triggers anxiety. So if money triggers anxiety, then chances are you're not going to do anything, right? So feeling calm around money. A is activating a new identity. So we went through all these identities earlier, right? So you need to come up with a new story about who you are, right? And then S is strengthening your skills and capacities. So what needs to happen here is there's certain skills and capacities that you need to learn how to invest, how to budget, how to do this, how to do that. So you need to identify what are those skills. And then the last E is embody growth. Rewiring, because you remember how you were like, I already did this stuff. It's still coming up. Well,
Mhm.
peeling the onion is not a one-time thing. It's
No.
something that you have to do over and over again.
Yeah.
So that's the process I walk women through.
Hmm. So that's that sounds like a really good process. And how many people have you taken through that process already?
Uh, Quite a number.
Hmm.
Now, what was interesting was that I was taking people through that process without knowing that I was taking people through that process. So over 20, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of their experiences with how their relationship with money or their business success or their personal life? Because money isn't. I always talk about the pie, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
that life is lots of different slices of the pie. And if you have triggers with money, it's not just about money.
yeah,
It ekes into relationships, into health, into friendships, into absolutely every single slice of your pie. So you think that you're doing money work, but
yeah.
it's going to clean up all of the other bits of the pie too, right?
Right,
So what were some of the other people's experiences?
right, because the pie lives in the nervous system, right?
The
So
pie, the nervous system pie.
nervous system pie. Confidence. Confidence is the number one thing that I get a lot from the women that I've worked with, right? So confident to put themselves out there, confidence to ask for a raise, confidence to tell their partner, stop belittling me. This was a little example where after working with me, this woman was able to stand up to her husband who was always putting her down. So confidence um to speak your mind. Another thing is overwhelm. So just the sense of calm. So one client, again, what she told me was after working with me, she felt she was no longer overwhelmed. instead, creativity. She felt so much more creative, right? Another client started saying yes to business opportunities, right? So opportunities for visibility. She
Mhm.
she would say yes to opportunities for visibility. Another client left her job because she had made enough money and she was like, down with a corporation. I don't want to do this anymore. And so she retired in her 40s.
Wow. And it's fascinating because if you think about the woman who told her partner to stop belittling me, for example. So it's not just about the woman who's not being heard or seen. The man is going to have his own triggers from life too, perhaps the same ones because we often mirror the people that we're with. And so sometimes when you're shifting stuff, your relationship can change dramatically because suddenly the other partner is like, who are you? What are you saying? Because you're stuck in old patterns. So it's helpful to help with the pattern. And it just reminded me because I went out with my kids and my new granddaughter yesterday, and driving home, the road had like bumps in it. And Sheni was sitting in the back with Sienna, the granddaughter, and she says to Rome, like, Rome, can you stop going over all the bumps? And Rome, quick, my son, he just said, "Oh, okay, darling, I'll just put on the hovercraft mode." Like, he's like, it's the
Just
road
fly
speed.
home.
And I just started cracking up and I thought, wow, that would have caused a huge row with some couples because the man would have said, "What? It's the road. What are you saying? I'm not doing it on purpose." No, 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 no. And it would have been a fight. And I've seen fights over nothing happen between two perfectly reasonable people because they're not hearing each other. And instead of, when you're not in an argument, speaking your truth with clarity in a calm phase so that you can explain how things work to your partner so that you can create a new way forward. It comes out during the trigger, and that's never the time to talk about anything. That's never the time to solve your business problems. It's never the time to go shopping online or otherwise.
Or eat. For some people,
Or
they turn
eat.
it to food. Yep.
Food is the thing. Yeah, it's never the time to eat. It's the time to get calm.
Yeah.
Tap. In your
Yeah.
case, it's tapping is your main tool, isn't it?
Yeah. Tapping or breath work. For some, breath work is easy. So tap and breathe or just
Yeah.
breath work.
Yeah. Breath work is also one of the help things. That is another resource in the MAP program.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so fascinating. Um, so So you mentioned in your own experience of buying all the courses and joining all the masterminds and
Yeah.
having all the strategies and still not implementing. What was really going on for you at that point?
Well, like I said earlier, first of all, it was because I transitioned from therapy to coaching, right? And
Yeah.
so my nervous system didn't think I would be successful. Like I wouldn't be successful as a coach, leaving something very secure, something that you know how to do, to something completely new.
Mhm.
Expansion, that was dangerous. So my nervous system just did not feel safe around expanding, around transitioning, around doing something completely different. So that was really what was going on. So even though I was buying those courses, I was procrastinating. I wasn't necessarily taking action. So if you're somebody who's procrastinating, that's a nervous system problem. It's not a productivity problem.
So procrastination as a pattern.
Yeah, so procrastination is you're resisting taking action because if I take action, then it's not safe. Again, it's not logical. Because if I'm explaining it to you like this, it sounds like I'm logically explaining it to you. In your body, you're not experiencing it as something logical at
Yeah.
all.
hmm hmm
Yeah, procrastination
I'm
is.
really lucky though that when I procrastinate, it's like proactive procrastination because
Tell me
when I
about that.
procrastinate working because I don't want to do the back office stuff because I just tech is my thing. I end up cleaning something or cleaning out a drawer or cleaning out a closet or something else gets taken care of so that I don't have to do what I need to do. But at least I don't just sit there scrolling. I something else gets done for the most part. So,
Yeah, mine is, yeah, cleaning the house and cooking.
all
I
right.
like
Yeah.
that too.
So, yeah, proactive procrastination.
Proactive. I like
So,
that.
in the end of every show, I like to give everybody some downloads. And these are downloads specifically around abundance and money. And usually I just give you like three or four, but we have quite a few downloads today. So, did you want to talk about anything else anymore before we go through these downloads?
Yeah,
I
go
can
right
give you
ahead.
some time afterwards. Okay. So, if you'd like to receive these downloads about money, we're going to do some about safety and regulation. So put your feet flat on the floor, have your hands facing upwards, but lower them down so you're not just hovering. So they're on your lap or on your desk so you're comfortable. Make sure that you've had enough water today because we're made of water. A lot of us have a lot of water, so we need water for everything to travel easily through our body. So just say yes out loud if you want to receive and let me connect up. I know what it feels like to know I am safe to have money. My body can learn to feel safe with having more. It's safe for me to grow at my own pace. Just say yes if you want to receive those. And now I'm going to give you a few on self-trust and identity. I understand, know, and trust that there is nothing wrong with me. I trust myself with money. I know I can understand what is happening inside me. I know I can lead myself with clarity and care. Boy, these must really be landing with everybody. I'm yawning all over the place. I'm feeling energy flying around.
I feel it in my hands.
Hmm. And here's some about receiving and worth. I know I am available to receive more. It's safe for me to allow money to reflect who I am. I know what it feels like to no longer need to prove my worth through overwork. I am free from overwork. It is safe for me to be seen and supported. I know what having support feels like. And here's some about releasing pressure. I know what it feels like to be free from having to force things. I know what it feels like to be free from having to push harder to be enough. I know what it feels like to create from clarity, free from pressure. And here's a few about growth and capacity. It is safe for me to learn, grow, and expand my capacity for money. I am becoming someone who can earn, hold, and grow wealth. My relationship with money is allowed to evolve. Say yes if you want to receive all of those downloads and feel it traveling through your body. Thank you, God. It's done, it's done, it's done in every cell of my body and every level and plane of my existence. Oh. So, for the woman listening right now who recognizes herself in everything that we've said, Helen, everything you've talked about, really, really interesting conversation as usual with you, never a dull moment. What's the most important thing she needs to hear today?
Yeah. First of all, those downloads were amazing. So thank you for sharing that. I felt them in my hands as you were
Yeah,
saying,
lots
right?
going on.
Yeah. So what I would say to this woman is if you've been trying to implement strategies and it's not working, then you probably don't have a strategy problem. You probably have an internal protection system that is limiting your ability to create, manage, receive, and give money. So there's nothing wrong with you. That's what I want you to know. There's nothing wrong with you.
Thank you. And where can people find you?
You can find me at horombi.coachesconsole.com. There's a quiz there that you can take that will identify what money script is running your nervous system. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's really good. Say that again, where they find you.
horombi,
Yeah.
horombi at coachesconsole.com.
That's great. Or you can find me at shannonoflaherty.com or shannonbtb.com. And I loved having this conversation with you, Helen. It really helps make that gap between what we're capable of and what's actually coming in make sense. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're not missing the strategy. Absolutely fantastic. This is where healing and wealth stop being separate conversations because wealth is abundance and abundance is joy and health and all good things. So I hope you all have enjoyed this wonderful conversation and thank you for talking about joy and abundance on my birthday. It's a wonderful day to have you on as my guest again. I love you so much. And welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, Helen. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.
You have been listening to Beyond Birth Trauma From Burden to Brilliance with Shannon O'Flaherty on Transformation Talk Radio. On the second Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, we connect the dots between your ancestors, your birth, and the patterns that keep you stuck, guiding you to a place of profound healing and unstoppable brilliance. By examining and healing your cellular imprint from birth of how you perceive and respond to the world and the challenges that are created in your day-to-day life, we can begin to heal and live more balanced and fulfilling lives. For more information, visit shannonbtb.com. That's shannonbtb.com.